Inside the cabin, the air was thick with the smell of wood smoke and something else, something you couldn't quite place. You looked around, but there was no one in sight. The only thing that greeted you was a flickering lantern on the table. You walked over to it, the floorboards creaking beneath your feet, and peered closer. The lantern wasn't lit by oil or wax, but by a glowing crystal. You leaned closer, mesmerized, and as you did, something shifted in your mind. You suddenly remembered a name, a place, and a face. It was as if the crystal had unlocked something deep within you. You turned around, heart racing, and there, in the corner of the room, was a mirror. You walked towards it slowly, afraid of what you might see. But when you looked into it, you gasped. The face staring back at you was not your own. It was someone else entirely, a stranger. You traced your fingers over your new face, the lines and contours unfamiliar. It was like looking at a painting you'd never seen before. The stranger's eyes were wide and filled with a mixture of fear and determination. It was then that you realized that you were not alone in this forest. The sound of footsteps approached the cabin, and you knew that you had to hide. You slipped behind a curtain, heart pounding in your chest, and waited. The door creaked open, and you heard the sound of boots on the floor. You held your breath, praying that whoever it was would leave. Suddenly, you heard a voice, cold and sinister, say, "I know you're here, stranger. You can't hide from me." Your heart sank, and you knew that you were in grave danger. You had to find a way out of the forest and back to where you belonged. But how?